Good afternoon, everyone. I'm privileged to be presenting this for the third time, this online Kabbalat Shabbat, and thank you for having me all the way from Northeast London, Woodford Forest United Synagogue. First time I did this was from my home when we were closed. I'm pleased to say, of course, many of our shuls are now open. We still have this wonderful technology which allows us to join in at home as well. Why didn't we think of it earlier? So it's a great privilege to be presiding over the last Kabbalat Shabbat of the year 5781. So I just wanted to share a few thoughts about the year gone by, and then we'll do the traditional davening. One of my favorite jokes is about the Jewish couple that have to go into hospital on Friday night. The wife's in labor, about to have a baby, and they call up a taxi company and they say, please send a cab, and whatever you do, please, they're Shomer Shabbat, so please no Jewish drivers. So as the taxi is pulling up, they hear the dispatcher on the radio very loudly saying, have you picked up those anti-Semites yet? We all know that there are times that Jewish law and mitzvot are set aside because of considerations of saving life. Many upright and fine people quite legitimately will not fast this Yom Kippur for health reasons. Our shuls, of course, very sadly were closed for large parts of the past year and a half due to COVID. We were unable to participate in life cycle events in the normal manner, and very sadly, many of us missed saying Kaddish for our loved ones. We were unable to daven with the minyan. In some cases, we didn't hear the shofar on Rosh Hashanah or the Megillah on Purim, all the other things that we're used to. And it's very easy to become despondent. You know, what does God want from us? We're trying our best, and we're stopped from doing all these things. Not to mention the Seder and the Friday night dinners with family, which we've been denied. And the answer is very simple, in theory. It's a little harder to put into practice, but it's a very important concept, which I wanted to share. When we frame things as our preconceived notions of what Judaism is to us, what Yiddishkeit is, what tradition is, it's very hard to change. Judaism is fasting on Yom Kippur. Judaism is going to shul and saying Kaddish on the yahrzeit. Judaism is ... When we remember that Judaism is what God wants from us, and most of the time he wants mitzvot, for sure. But when there is a danger to life, we know that the mitzvot are put to one side. You can break Shabbat, you can eat on Yom Kippur, you can close your shul and deny people a chance to gather in a minyan in order to save lives. And it's very easy to be despondent, but the same God that told us to pray 3 times a day and to hear the shofar and to fast on Yom Kippur also told us not to do those things if there's a danger to life. And so not only should we proudly not do those mitzvot when it's not safe to do so, but we should know that we're also connecting to God. There's a beautiful story which I've heard many times over the past 18 months about 2 Hasidim, Reb Elimelech and Reb Zusha. They used to travel in disguise, in rags, from village to village in Poland, posing as beggars to try to just refine themselves and get a feel of what the population was going through, very difficult times. And one time they got mixed up with real beggars. They got arrested by the police and they ended up in a Polish prison overnight. And they certainly didn't have on-street facilities. And amongst other things, in the cell where there was a whole crowd of people, they didn't have on-street bathrooms in those places. And, you had to do your business in a bucket in the corner. So anyway, they're in the cell overnight. Comes to time for davening in the morning. And Reb Zusha wakes up. He hears his brother, Reb Elimelech, is weeping silently. He says, why are you weeping? He says, I can't pray to God. I can't daven. How do I connect to God? It stinks in here. It's disgusting. It's full of human waste. I'm prohibited from saying my prayers in such a place. I never in my life missed my prayers. I never missed my morning connection to God. And his brother says, why are you so upset? He says, the same God that told you to pray 3 times a day told you not to pray in a stinking, disgusting, fetid place. So you're also connecting to God. You're doing what he wants. You should be happy. And the 2 brothers thought about it, and Rabbi Elimelech stopped crying, and he started laughing, and they became so joyous that eventually they started singing and dancing around this pail of human waste. And some of the non-Jewish prisoners got in on it as well, an excuse for a party. And the guards hear this commotion, they come along, and to their great shock, all the prisoners are dancing around the cell. And one of the guards says to one of the non-Jewish inmates, what's going on? He says, I've got no clue. I'll tell you one thing. Those 2 guys, they're Meshuggah. I don't know if he said Meshuggah. They're nuts. Look what they're doing. They seem to be happy about this pail of human waste in the middle of the thing. And the guard said, oh yeah? If that's making them happy, let's take it away. They removed it. And the end of the story is eventually the smell went. They were able to daven. But actually, you don't need the end of the story. Because even if they weren't able to daven, the point is, the same God that told you to daven told you not to daven if it stinks. The same God that told you to fast on Yom Kippur told you to eat on Yom Kippur if you have to. The same God that told you to go daven with the minyan told you to stay home if your life is in danger. So all the difficulties that we've had doing mitzvot and following our traditions and things that are so precious to us throughout the pandemic, we should remind ourselves to reframe it. What does God want from us? What he tells us. And he tells us to protect our lives. So we shouldn't feel shortchanged that we've not done those mitzvot. We've not been to shul. On the contrary, we should know we're also carrying out God's will in a very special way. And at the same time, we should wish and hope and pray that this year we don't have to do that, but we should be able to fulfill God's will in its entirety, all the mitzvot, all the traditions, all the occasions, the simchas, and the sad occasions when we gather together, Friday night dinner, and Yom Tov, and Pesach Seder, and all the things that we hold so dear, we should be able to do once again in safety and in peace and in good health. So I wish everyone a Shana Tova U'Matuka, a very happy and a sweet new year. Should all be inscribed in the book of life for the year 5782. And even as we hope for a better year, a year where we are free to do what we want safely, we should also remember that by closing our doors and by staying home, we were also carrying out God's will, and we were also connecting to him in a very, very unique kind of a way. I wish everyone Shabbat Shalom. And we will continue now with the Kabbalat Shabbat, which is on page 256 in the Green Singers. Just a reminder, we're going to stop just before the end of L'cha Dodi. And of course, don't bring in Shabbat while you're still connected to your devices. Switch off at that point, and it should be pretty much close to candlelighting time, which is 7:28 in London today. So, but you can light before that. So page 256. Yedid nefesh av harachamon m'shoich avdecha el retzoinecha yarutz avdecha k'mo ayal yishtachaveh el mol hadarecha Yerabno Yedidoi Secha Minoi Fetzof V'chol Ta'am Hador Noeh Ziv Hailam Nafshi Chaylas Abasecha Anoelna Rafana la Beharois la Noam Zivacha Ostis Chazek Vesis Rapei Vahayis Allah Simcha Soilam Vasig Yemuna Rachamecha V'chosana al benahu becha ki zekama nisayv nisafti liroy siferes ozecha ein lechamda libi v'chosana v'yalti salam higalena u'praise chabimi alai esokas shalomecha ta'ireret michvoidecha nagila v'nismechavach Maherehoiv kivamoein b'choneinu kimeyoinam Ananai nai 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 Ananai nai 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 Ananai nai 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 Tananai nai 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 Nine 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 and a nine 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 and a nine 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 and a nine 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 nine
Hananai nai 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 nai. Hananai nai nai nai. Hananai nai nai nai. Hananai nai 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 nai. Lechun Ranan Aladinoi Nari Alato Yishainu Nakama Mama Basega Bizmir Samia Shebi Yadai Mekare Yoretz Fasa Harim Loi Ashelo Yamu Asam Yabashes Yadam Yutaru Boin Shachmanim and Ichra Nibrachal Flian Moyaseinu Kilang Manacham Moyasevitan Yadai Hayom Mekayla Sishma Tachil Malchem Gimiva Here Masam Mibashan is on your Sechem Hamli Gamru Foli Abaim Shana Akobada Vaimaram Taylay Bafheim Baheim Lo Yodunarachai Ashen Ishmati Biabi Im Yavayon Manuchasi Shiru Ladainai Shir Chadash Shiru Ladainai Kol La'aret Shiru Ladainai Bachush Shamai Basra Miyayim Layayim Yeshua Sai Sapra Magoyim Kavaydai B'chol Ha'amim Nifloi Saki Gadai Ladainai Umahol Ha'mayayit Nairahu I'll call Elohim Nai Ki kol Eloi Hayawamim Elilim V'Adonai Shamayim Asa Hoyd V'Hadal Lefanaf Oz V'Siferes B'Migdashay Habu L'Adonai Mishbachai Samim Habu L'Adonai Kavoi V'Oz Habu L'Adonai Kavoi Shemai Sayum Mincha Yuvayu L'Chatzroi Sab Hishtachabu L'Adonai B'Hadras Kodesh Chilu Mipanav Kol La'oretz Imru B'Goyim Adonai Malach Aptikon Tevel Baal Timoit Yodinamim B'Meisharim Yismachu Hashamayim V'Sagel Haaretz Yiramayam Umalaya Yaloi Sadai B'chol Hashebo Einai Oz Yeravenu Kol Atzayawa Lifnei Yadainai Ki Yivawa Lishbay Toaretz Yishbay Tevel B'Tzedek V'yamim B'Munasa Yanai Nai 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 Anai Nai 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 Adonai Malach Tagelore Zivim Rabim Adam Arafel Sadim Tedek Mishman Mishman Disavation of Dane Somebody to rock Here Marak of Taylor Ross of Taylor Harim Katainag no Master if they are doing if they are doing Colores Hiroshmantic Cover Harim Kavaida Yeva Shikola they pass on Misalim Belinim Hishtafula Kolahim Shoma Batis Maxion Vertagel Nabanais Yehuda Leman Mishpatecha Adonai Ki Ata Adonai Elyon Al Kol Haaretz Bain Alei Saval Kol Elohim Ovei Adonai Sinura Shomen Avshes Chasidav Miad Rishayim Yatzileim Ozer Latadik Uli Shailei Simcha Simchu Tzadikim Adonai Vaidu L'Zecher Kodshay Mizmor Shir Latoinoi Shir Chadash Ki Niflois Asa Hoshialo Yaminai Uzarawa Kadasha Odio Adoinoi Yeshu Asai Veinei Agoyim Gilating Asai Zamu Chastai Bemun Asai the base Yisrael, Ra'u Chalas Ne'oret, Eis Yeshuas Eloheinu, Hariu L'Adonai Kol Oret, Pitzchu V'rananu, V'zameiru, Zaru L'Adonai B'chinur, B'chinur V'kol Zimra, V'chatzoi Trois V'kol Shoipa, Hariu lifnei hamelech Adonai, Yiram hayam layai, Tevel v'yosh v'va, Neharai simcha uchaf, Echad harim Yiraneinu, Lifnei Adonai kiva, Lishmai tawaret, Yishmai tevel v'tzedek, V'yamim b'mei sharim, Nay, 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 na, 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 nay, 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 na, 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 nay, 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 na, 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 nay, 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 na, 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 nay, 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 na, na, nay, na, nay, 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 na, na, nay, 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 na, na, nay, na, nay. Hi, nine, 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 nine. Anoy malachim, because I'm him. Yosef, Yedesh Mangalam Levekadesh, Ves Melech Mishpat Haimat Hakainat Mishari Mishpat Tzak V'Yakov Tasisa. Roma Moadin Alein Vishach V'Adem V'Kashu. Ma'ishem Yarain B'Chai Hanav. Ushamuel b'kairei Shammai, kairim el Adonai, v'hu yaneim, v'amud anan, yidaber aleim, shomru eidoi sav, v'chainasan lamai, Adonai Eloheinu, Ata Nisam, El Noisen Yisalahem, B'nai Keim Adonai Sam Raimamu, Adonai Eloheinu, V'shachavu Nahar Kochai, Ki Kadosh, Adonai Eloheinu, page 264. Mizmor David, Habul Adonai b'nei Elim, Habul Adonai, Kavod v'oz Einai, Habul Adonai, Kavod Shemo Ishtachavu Adonai, Badras Kodesh, Koil Adonai, Alamayim elakavod hirim, Abdoinov yamayim rabim, Koil Abdoinov bavakaya chaynai, Koil Adonai behadar, Koil Abdoinai shomer arazim, Shaber Adonai yezazei alavanai, Vayarkitem kamo egel levanavavai v'sirion kamavavai ben ra'ay mimaynai koil Adonai koitev la'amoiseish koil Adonai yochil mitar Yachil Adonai midbar kodesh koil Adonai yachil elai alois vayeches amai yarois uvaheichal kulo oimer kavod einai Adonai lemavul yashav yeshev Adonai melech li'olam Adonai yis li'amo yitain Adonai yivarech zamoy v'shalom Ay nai 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 ay nai 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 Anai nai 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 anai nai nai ay nai 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 Anna bakayach gedulas yemincha Tate terura kabarina samcha sagveinu tareinu Shabbat in Kabbalat Shabbat. L'chadodi on page 266. We'll pause and conclude before the last verse, of course, when we actually bring Shabbat in. So page 266. L'chadodi l'egraskala P'nei Shabbos l'Kabbalah L'chadodi l'egraskala P'nei Shabbos l'Kabbalah Shamo v'zacho b'dibor echad Hishmiyanu elam yuchad Adonai echad Ushmo echad L'shem u'l'siferes v'l'silah L'chadodi l'graskala P'nei Shabbos l'Kabbalah Ananai P'nei Shabbos l'Kabbalah Mikra Shabbos l'chuvanelcha Ki makor habaracha Meirosh mikedem Nesucha soif maseh B'machshavat tchila L'chadodi l'graskala P'nei Shabbos l'Kabbalah L'chadodi l'graskala P'nei Shabbos l'Kabbalah Mikdash melech imelucha kumitzai Mitayra apecha rav l'sheves B'yemecha b'chava yachamal ala yichemla L'chadodi l'graskala P'nei Shabbos l'Kabbalah L'chadodi l'graskala P'nei Shabbos l'Kabbalah His narim yafakum milifshi migdei Sifartecha mi al yad ben yishai Beisalach mi korva el nafshi gila L'chadodi l'graskala P'nei Shabbos l'Kabbalah L'chadodi l'graskala P'nei Shabbos l'Kabbalah Hisayrari, Kiva Irei, Kumi Iri, Yori, Shedaveri, Kavadalino, Yala, Yiknigla, L'chadodi, l'graskala, P'nei Shabbos, l'Kabbalah, Ananai, P'nei Shabbos, L'Kabbalah, Ayla Sevai Shivala Sekami, Matish Taichachi, Yumatami, Bagechesu, Alniyami, Vanibnasa, Iratila, Ya, L'chadodi, Ay, l'graskala, Ay, nai, P'nei Shabbos l'Kabbalah, V'hayulim shisa, Shavasayich, V'rachaku, Komavolayich, Yosis salayich, Elohayich, Kim says Chassan, Naokala, nai, L'chadodi, Ay, l'graskala, P'nei Shabbos l'Kabbalah, Yamin Nusumatik Righty, Yes, Adonai Taritzi Al Yadish Ben Parti Ben Nismacha Ben Agilai Nai 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 Lechadoidi Ay Likaskala Ay Bnei Shabbos Nekabala Nai 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 Ay Nai 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 Ay, 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 nine, nine, nine. Ay, nine, 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 nine. Ay, nine, 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 nine.
Say good Shabbos, Shabbat Shalom to everyone wherever you're watching from. And of course, once again, I wish you all a Shana Tova, a very happy and sweet new year, inscribed and sealed in the book of life for a wonderful year in the year ahead. Take care. Thanks for watching and Shabbat Shalom.